When there are 2-point electric charges separated by a certain distance, there will be electrostatic force of attraction or repulsion between the point electric charges, and that force can be calculated by applying Coulomb's law. But what if beside a particular point charge there are a number of point charges? Then each of the point charge exerts some force on this particular point electric charge. So this point electric charge experiences a net force because it is placed near many point electric charges. Net force experienced by this particular point charge cannot be calculated by applying Coulomb's law, because Coulomb's law is valid for only a pair, means a 2-point electric charges separated by certain distance. The net force experienced by a particular point electric charge which is placed near a number of point electric charges can be calculated by applying the principle of superposition. Hi friends, in this video we are going to learn about the principle of superposition, and we are going to apply this principle to calculate net force experienced by a point. Net force experienced by a point electric charge when it is placed near a system of or a number of point electric charges. So first, what is the meaning of or what is the principle of superposition? The principle of superposition states that in a system of n point electric charges, the net force experienced by a particular point electric charge is the vector sum of the forces exerted by the remaining charges near it. So what did I say? That I'll write the statement on the screen within no time. So net force experienced by a particular point charge is the vector sum of the forces exerted by remaining charges which are near this particular point charge. Also, the principle of superposition says that the electrostatic force between any 2-point charges is not affected due to the presence of other point charges. That means every pair of electric charges experience a certain force, and that force is not affected because other point charges are near it. So let us first write the statement of the principle of superposition. According to the principle of superposition, in a system of n point electric charges, the net force or total force experienced by a point charge, net force experienced by a point charge is the vector sum of the forces due to all other remaining charges. All other remaining charges. So according to the principle of superposition, in a system having n point charges, the net force experienced by a point charge is the vector sum of the forces due to all other remaining charges. So this is the statement of the principle of superposition. Also the force between electrostatic force between the point charge and any other charge near it and any other electric charge near it is unaffected due to the presence of due to the presence of the remaining point charges. Remaining point charges. So the force between electrostatic force between this particular point charge and any other charge is unaffected due to the presence of remaining charges. So this is all about the principle of superposition. Let us just quickly understand the mathematical statement of this. See, for example, we have a point charge. Let this be that nth charge which experiences net force due to the presence of all other point electric charges. So there is a point charge Qn, and beside this there is a particular point electric charge. So these 2 point charges are separated by a certain distance r. Then how much electrostatic force is there between these two? Between means how much force they exert on each other. So say for example we will write force experienced by nth charge due to the first charge. How to write the statement? This will write by applying Coulomb's law. So force on nth charge due to first charge is K Qn into Q1 by distance between them, so r square. So this is only magnitude. If we want to write the vector notation, just we have to multiply the unit vector in that direction. So this is the amount of force experienced by nth charge due to the presence of one of the charges. In the system, if there are few more point electric charges, in the system, if there are few more point electric charges, then these all point electric charges exert some force on the nth charge. So that will result in the nth charge to experience a net force. That means it experiences a total amount of force, so much force due to the presence of all other point electric charges. So that net force we can calculate by applying the principle of superposition. So according to the principle of superposition, the net force experienced by nth charge, net force experienced by nth charge due to all these other point electric charges is the vector sum, not algebraic sum, vector sum of forces due to all these, and that force can be calculated by Coulomb's law. So force vectors net force experienced by nth charge is force on nth charge due to first charge plus force on nth charge due to second charge plus force on nth charge due to third charge, and like this force on nth charge due to n minus 1th charge. So this is how we calculate net force on a charge due to many charges near it. And also according to the principle of superposition, the force between any two charges, that means Fn1 is not affected due to the presence of other charges. That means everyone's contribution is unique, but total force experienced by nth charge will definitely be the vector sum of the forces due to all these point electric charges. So this is the statement and meaning of the principle of superposition. Let us go into certain kinds of numerical problems. Now let us apply principle of superposition in polygon type of questions. Let me pick up a few examples. Consider an equilateral triangle. Name of the triangle ABC. At the vertices of this equilateral triangle, let there be 3 point electric charges and all of same magnitude and same sign. What the question is calculate F net, that is net force on the charge placed at C. So calculate net force on charge placed at C. So here there are more than 2 point electric charges. If there are 2 point electric charges, force can be known by applying Coulomb's law. More than 2 point electric charges, then net force on a particular charge is calculated by applying the principle of superposition. And here we have to calculate net force on charge placed at vertex C. Since positive charges repel, charge placed at A repels charge placed at C in outward direction, and this force is force on C due to A. That means force on charge at C due to charge at A. Similarly, charge at B vertex repels a charge at C vertex outward along the line joining their centers. So force on C due to B. So these are the two forces exerted by charges placed at vertices A and B on charge at C. But we have to calculate net force. Net force on charge at C will be along this direction. This is the resultant of FCA and FCB. This force is along the angle bisector of angle between FCA and FCB. That means because it is an equilateral triangle, all the 3 interior angles are 60 degrees. So net force on charge at C, that is a resultant FR, is at 30 degrees with FCA or FCB. So let us first find how much force does the charges at vertices A and B exert on charge at C, and that we will know by applying Coulomb's law. So FCA is KQ1 Q2 by R square. Let this equilateral triangle be of side L units or A or X, that's okay. So FCA is KQ1 into Q2. So I'll write here Q square by L square. L is the distance between the 2 electric charges whose magnitudes are same, even the sign on them is also same. Similarly, FCB, force on charge at C due to charge at B is K Q1 into Q2, means Q square by L square. So from here it is understood that these two are equal to each other. So let these two be equal to some force F. So force FCA we will take it as F, FCB also will take it as F. The resultant of these two forces is along FR, that is at 30 degrees from FCA and FCB. Resultant or net force on charge at C due to charges at A and B is calculated by finding the vector sum of the forces. So we will apply the parallelogram law of vector addition. So F net at C is the resultant of these two forces, which is square root of F square plus F square, means FCA square plus FCB square plus twice of FCA into FCB into cos of angle between FCA and FCB. Angle between FCA and FCB is 60 degrees. And cos 60 is 1 by 2. When we work out the whole under root this, we'll have f square plus f square plus f square. So 3f square, which is f root 3. So this is how we apply the principle of superposition to calculate net force. These are the polygon kind of questions. Let us pick up one more example to have a better understanding of this. Once again, consider an equilateral triangle. Right. Name of the triangle ABC. At vertex A, there is a plus Q charge. At B, there is plus Q charge. At C, let there be minus Q charge. And then we have to calculate. And what is asked? Let's calculate F net at C. It's only an example just to tell that how principle of superposition is used. So since charge at C is negative, the negative charge is attracted by positive charge at vertex A. So this is force on C due to A. The negative charge at C is attracted by positive charge at B. So this is F, force on C due to B. We have to calculate F net at C, that means the net force experienced by charge at C due to the presence of charges at A and B. So F net will be along the angle bisector of angle ACB. So this is resultant force. The resultant is the net force. So let's calculate what is the resultant. But before that, what is FCA by Coulomb's law? It is the Q1 into Q2 means Q square by the equilateral triangle has a side of L units. So by side square. Similarly, FCB by Coulomb's law is KQ square by once again L square. And it is again clearly understood that these two are equal to each other. So let them be equal to some force F. So FCA, we will take it as F. FCB, FCA, we'll take it as F. Right. So we have to calculate net force on charge at C. So therefore, F net at C is actually the resultant of these two forces, which is again calculated in the same way, F square plus twice F into cos of angle between FCA and FCB, that is 60 degrees. Why? Because triangle ABC is an equilateral triangle. So each interior angle is 60 degrees. And we are calculating resultant force by applying the parallelogram law of vector addition. So this is 1 by 2, and once you work out everything in the root, you will get it is root over of 3 f square. 3 f squares will come, f square plus f square plus f square. So this is f root 3. So answer is same, but a direction of resultant force in these two cases are opposite. First case resultant was outside, and this case resultant is inside. So this is how we apply principle of superposition. If there are 2 point charges, force can be calculated by applying Coulomb's law. But more than 2, then net force is calculated as a vector sum of forces exerted by all other charges on this particular charge. Let us take up one more example. Consider a square. I am taking a regular polygons for easing the calculation and easing the understanding on the concept of how to apply principle of superposition. So it's a square of side, each side L units, and let at each vertex there is plus Q charge. So A has plus Q, B has plus Q, C has plus Q, and D also has plus Q charge. Now what's the question? Question is, see, there are 4 point charges, So net force on any one particular charge has to be calculated by applying principle of superposition. So calculate F net on charge placed at C. Okay, how to do this? All forces will be repulsive. So charge at B repulses charge at C outward in the direction of BC. So always force acts along the line joining the centers of the charges, and charge at D exerts a force on charge placed at C outward. So this is force on C due to D. Resultant of these two forces, so FCA, I'm sorry, this is FCB, sorry. So that is force on C due to charge placed at B. So that is outward, this is also outward. So they are the individual forces, but we have to calculate net force. So net force on charge at C due to charges at B and D will be along the angle bisector of angle between FCA, FCB and FCD. So resultant of the forces is this. This resultant will be at 45 degrees with FCD as well as FCB. Why 45? Why? Because interior angle is at C is 90. So exterior angle is also 90. And resultant always goes as angle bisector of the two forces. Right. Now here there is a one more electric charge. One more electric charge is at vertex A. So vertex A, charge at vertex A, that also repulses charge at C in the same direction in which the resultant of FCB and FCD is there. So that is the direction of force on C due to charge placed at A. Now resultant and FCA both are in the same direction. So net force due to charges placed at A, B, D on a charge at a C will be the sum of FR and FCA. Let's begin the solution. Okay, so what is the FCB? By Coulomb's law, it is a KQ1 into Q2 means Q square by L square. Similarly, what is the FCD? That is also by Coulomb's law KQ square by L square. And again, it is understood that these two are equal to each other. So each of them will be equal to some F. So I am just writing this as F and also this as F. So first step, let us calculate F net. So what is the F net due to charges placed at B and D is the resultant, which is calculated as A square plus B square plus twice AB of cos theta. Theta is angle between A and B by parallelogram law of vector addition. So here I am writing here this is F square plus twice F into cos of angle between FCB and FCD. Angle between them is what? 90 degrees. Cos 90 is what? 0. So here this comes out to be F square plus F square, that is a 2F square F root 2. Right. On the parallel space, let us calculate how much is FCA, means force on charge at C due to charge at A. That we will do by Coulomb's law. FCA is KQ1 into Q2 means Q square by distance between A and C, that is a diagonal. Whenever you have a square of side L units, diagonal will be L root 2. This can be found by applying Pythagoras theorem. So distance between A and C is L root 2 whole square, and this is what? KQ square by 2L square. This we can write as a half of KQ square by L square. And what is KQ square? KQ square is F. So FCA is a half of F, because vertex A is at greater distance than vertices B and D to C. So force on C due to B and D will be more compared to force on C due to A. So this is it, half of the total force. So the final statement, therefore F net at C is FR plus FCA. And what is FR? FR is F root 2. FCA is what? FCA is a half of F. Take highest common factor F out of the bracket, and then we have root 2 plus 1 by root 2, 1 by 2. And what is F? F is KQ square by L square, root 2 plus 1 by root 2. So this is the net force on charge placed at C due to charges at A, B, D. And this we calculated by applying the principle of superposition. Let us pick up one more question of similar kind, where I'll take one of the vertices with different polarity. So consider a square. Consider a square. Okay. Name of the square be ABCD. At the vertices, let there be charges plus Q, minus Q, plus Q. Okay. What the question is? Question is calculate F net. Calculate F net at C. So what is the net force on charge at C due to the presence of charges at vertices A, B and D? So assume that the square has a side of L units. Then let's be in the solution or answer to the question. So right. So charge at B attracts a charge at C in this direction. I'll take up some other color which is lighter. That's good. So charge at C is attracted by charge at B with a force FCB. Similarly, charge at D attracts a charge at C with a force FCD. Similarly, charge at A also attracts a charge at C with a force FCA, force on C due to A. So these are the forces. Thereby, the resultant of FCD and FCB will also be in the direction of the diagonal CA. So this is FR. FR is the resultant. Let's choose some easy color. So resultant is F subscript R, right? So first let us know what is FCB. By Coulomb's law, it is K Q1 into Q2. So here plus or minus, no need to put. Plus or minus talks about direction that we are already taking. Direction wise we are taking. By L square. And then what is FCD? FCD is K Q1 into Q2 by L square. Again, it is very clear that these two are equal to each other. So we call it as some F. Now, resultant of FCB, which is F, FCD, which is also F, is along the direction or which is along the angle bisector of angle BCD. So let's first calculate F net. So resultant of FCB and FCD is square root of F square plus F square plus twice F into cos of 90. The answer is going to be very same as the previous one, but direction is different. First one direction is outward, this one direction is inward. So cos 90 is 0. So here this gives a 2 root F root 2, sorry, because F square is there. So F root 2. Then what is here itself I'm doing it. FCA, force on C due to A, is K Q1 into Q2 by AC square, and for a square, if sides are of L units, then diagonal AC will be L root 2. By applying Pythagoras theorem to triangle ADC or ABC, we'll get that. So here we have L root 2 square, and which gives finally half of KQ square by L square, and KQ square by L square is F. So FCA is a half of F. Right. So what is net force? Net force, this question also, FCA and FR are in the same direction. So net force. Therefore, F net at C is FR plus FCA, because they are in the same direction. But if they are in opposite direction, one will be, if one is taken as positive, other will be taken or should be taken as negative. But here they just add up. So here this is F root 2 plus half F. The same answer, F times root 2 plus 1 by 2, and F is what? KQ square by L square, not R square. L square times root 2 plus 1 by 2. So this is how we applied the principle of superposition to the polygon type of questions. Now let us see the next kind of questions where we will calculate a net force on a particular charge due to the presence of remaining other charges. So these kind of questions are called net force on a charge which is placed in a symmetrical distribution of electric charges. For that, let us consider, I'm just picking up an example question. Consider a square. Let name of the square be ABCD. Square of side L units. See, charge at AB plus Q, charge at BB plus Q, charge at CB plus Q, and charge placed at DB plus Q. What's our question? Our question is, calculate net force on a charge which is placed at the center of the square. Center of the square means point at the location O, which is actually the point of intersection of the diagonals. So our question is, calculate F net. Calculate F net on a charge placed at O. And where is O? O is the point of intersection of diagonals of the square. So just to tell that O is the point of intersection of diagonals of a square, let's begin with OA distance is equal to OB distance, which is equal to OC distance, which is in turn equal to OD distance, and all of them let us call as equal to R. And how much is R? If the square is of side L units, then diagonal is L root 2. So R is what? L root 2 by 2. So this is it. And all the charges are positive charges. So how the forces act? Charge at A repels charge at O in this direction, and charge at C repels charge at O in perfectly opposite direction. What does it mean? Its meaning is, force on O due to A is equal but opposite to force on O due to charge placed at C. Force on O means force on charge at O due to charge at A. Okay, so because the charge's magnitude is same, distance between OA, OC is same, so magnitude of force has to be same, but they are in opposite direction, and because they are in opposite direction having same magnitude, they'll cancel each other. Similarly, charge at B repels a charge at O in this direction, and charge at D repels a charge at O in this direction. What does it mean? It means that force on charge at O due to charge at B is equal but opposite in direction to force exerted on a charge at O due to charge placed at D. And what we have to do? We have to calculate net force on charge placed at O. That charge placed at O may be plus Q or minus Q. If it is plus Q, the forces will be in opposite directions, so they cancel. But if it is negatively charged, then forces will then also be in opposite direction. That means B will pull capital Q and D will pull the charge at the center, capital Q. So then also the forces will be in opposite direction but equal in magnitude. So equal magnitude, opposite direction forces are going to cancel each other. So here finally, therefore F net. What is F net? F net force, net force on a charge at O is force on O due to A plus force on O due to B plus force on O due to C and force on O due to D. And in the whole process, force on O due to A means force on charge at O due to charge at A, that the meaning is minus of FOC, and FOB is a minus of FOD. So hence the plus minus quantities cancel and net force turns 0. So actually the result that we landed on right now is a property. And what is the property? The property is net force on a charge which is placed in a symmetrical distribution of electric charges is always 0. So the concluding statement is net force. Net force on charge. Net force on charge which is placed in a symmetrical distribution. In a symmetrical distribution of charges is always 0. So this is a result, that charge which is placed at O, that may be positive or may be negative. Let us just do one more question where charge which is placed in the center, that may be plus Q minus Q, but one of the vertices charge, let us change. So in the previous question we have taken all the vertices have the positive charge. Now let us do one thing. Let us take up a square, name of the square ABCD. At the vertices we have plus Q. At B also there is plus Q charge. At D also there is plus Q charge, but at C there is a negative charge, minus Q. Magnitude same but of different direction. What's our question? At the point of intersection of the diagonals, means at the center of this square whose side is say L units, there is another charge. Let this be plus Q or minus Q of different capacity, magnitude. So at O there is some other charge that may be plus Q or minus Q. Final answer is going to be same as the one that we are going to get now for this question. So what is the question? Question is calculate F net at O. Just to tell that O is the center of the square of side L units. We'll write OA distance, OB distance, OC and OD. All of them are equal to each other. Let all of them be equal to R. And what is R? R is half the length of diagonal. Diagonal is L root 2 and it is half. First point is this. Next, electrostatic force between charges at OA, OB, OC, OD, all of them are of equal magnitude. Why? Because charges QQ, Here also Q, 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 and distances are same. So I'm just writing that force on O due to A should be equal to or is equal to force on O due to B, force on O due to C, force on O due to D. These all are equal in magnitude and all of them are equal to K, Q, Q by R square. And R we have just written, so that's K, Q, Q by L root 2 by 2. I can write this as L by root 2. So here L by root 2 square means what? L square by root 2 square. So that goes up in form of 2. So this much is the force, and let's call this as some F. All these forces are equal to each other, and how much force is there, or how much force all the four vertex electric charges exert on the charge which is placed at the center. That force is 2K. That force is 2KQQ by L square, and L is length of side of the square. So this much force. But what is our question? We have to calculate net force. This is individual force. Individually, one vertex charge exert this much amount of force. Net force, how to calculate? See, first, because you see, B repels charge at O in this direction, and D repels charge at O in perfectly opposite direction with equal magnitude but opposite direction force. So here, force on O due to B is equal and opposite to force on O due to D, so they cancel each other. So the net force on charge placed at O, that is net force on this plus capital Q charge, will only be due to charges at A and C. So charge at A repels the charge placed at O in this direction. Which direction? Along the diagonal AC. And charge C attracts the charge at O in this direction. Just a moment, I should have drawn it properly. Okay, so A repels charge at O along diagonal AC, and charge at C attracts charge at O towards itself, because positive negative attractive force. So here we have force on O due to A, which is along AC, and we have force on O due to C, which is towards C, and those two are in the same direction, so the forces should add up. And how much force they exert? They exert same magnitude of force, but this time forces are along AC or towards vertex C. So here net force, let us directly go to the net force. Net force on charge present at the center of the square is force on O due to A plus force on O due to C, because both the forces are in same direction. Force on O due to A is F, this one, and force on O due to C, that is also F, same. So this is a twice F. And what is F? F is 2KQQ by L square. So net force is 4KQQ by L square. So this is the total force. So these are the questions where we calculate net force on a charge which is placed in a symmetrical distribution of electric charge. Let us see another kind of questions where we can apply the principle of superposition. Assume there is a charge plus Q and another charge plus 4q. And these two electric charges are at a distance of r units from each other. Now the question is, where can we put a third electric charge? Say, consider that, think that this is the first electric charge, this is the second electric charge. Where shall we put a third electric charge so that the third electric charge stays in equilibrium? Because these 2 point charges definitely will exert some force on the third charge, but the third charge has to stay in equilibrium. Staying in equilibrium means total force on the third charge, net force on the third charge should be 0, and principle of superposition is related to net force calculation. So just assume that we put the third charge. Okay, the question is, we have to put the third charge on the line joining the centers of these two electric charges. So assume that we put the third charge. Let third charge be of some other magnitude that may be of same sign or a different sign. So let me take the third charge as plus q. So if plus q is placed in this extreme end, in the left extreme end, positive repulsion. So first charge repulses the third charge towards one side. Even the second charge is also positive, so that also repulses in the same direction. And if both the forces that the first and second charge exert on the third charge are on the same direction, then resultant force on the third charge due to first and second charge will be algebraic sum. They will add up. So the forces will not turn 0. Similarly, if you put the third charge in the right side extreme end, then also the forces will be in the same direction. So there are no chances of these forces to cancel each other. But if the third charge is placed somewhere between these two electric charges, so it may be somewhere in the middle or somewhere close to q or close to 4q or away like that somewhere. When it is placed, when the third charge is placed between the first and second charges, the first charge will repel the third charge in the right side direction, and the second charge will repel third charge in the left side direction. So here the forces are in opposite directions. Now if their magnitudes are same, then the force exerted by first and second charge on the third charge will sum up to 0, and then the third charge will stay in equilibrium. So we have to put the third charge between the two charges when the two charges are of same sign. If first and second charge are both positive, both negative, then the third charge may be positive, may be negative, but it has to be placed between them. Then only the third charge will be in equilibrium. Now let us calculate or find. The question should be, find the location or position of third charge on the line joining the charges plus q and plus 4q such that it stays in equilibrium. So where shall we, what should be the location of third charge on the line joining the two existing charges 1 and 2, such that it stays in equilibrium? And as we discussed, it should be somewhere between the two electric charges. Now we have the first charge which is plus q, the second charge which is plus 4q. So this is first charge and this is the second charge, and these two charges are at a separation of r distance from each other. Where shall we place the third charge? As we discussed, the third charge should be placed somewhere in between them. So let the third charge be plus q. Of different magnitudes, I have taken capital Q. So assume that the third charge is at x distance from the first charge, and then it will be at a distance r minus x from the second charge. We have to tell where it is located between them. That means we have to find x. So since the third charge is in equilibrium, what does it mean? Very simple. The forces on third charge due to first and second charge should be equal in magnitude and opposite in sign. Force on third charge due to first charge will be in the right side direction, and force on third charge due to second charge, force on third due to second charge will be towards the left side. So they are in opposite direction. Their magnitudes should be same. Since the third charge is in equilibrium, we are supposed or we are allowed to write that force on third charge due to first charge is equal in magnitude to force on third charge due to second charge. And these two forces will write according to Coulomb's law. According to Coulomb's law, F31 and F32 expressions we are going to write. So F31 is K, Q, capital Q by x square, distance between Q and capital Q. F32 is a K 4Q Q by r minus x whole square. And what all stuff cancels will cancel on either side. So these all cancel, and then we will do a small cross multiplication, and then we will get r minus x by x over all square. Individual square I have written as whole square is equal to 4 on the other side, which in turn we can write as r minus x by x is equal to plus or minus square root of 4. Square root of 4 is 2. In parallel space I am working here. So r minus x by x, we can take it as plus 2. Also r minus x by x, we can take it as minus 2. Then what happens here? Here we have r is equal to 2x plus x. So r is 3x. X is equal to r by 3. And what was x? X was a distance between the first charge and the third charge. That means third charge is placed at 1/3 distance from the first charge. So it is placed at a 2/3 distance from second charge. Second charge magnitude is more compared to first charge. So this is the location so that the third charge stays in equilibrium. What about if we take r minus r as minus 2? So we have here r minus x is minus 2x. R is minus 2x plus x. R is minus x. So x is equal to minus r. What does it indicate? This indicates that distance between third charge and the first charge is minus r. Minus r means it is placed towards the left side of first charge, which is not possible. If it is placed at extreme left or extreme right, then both the forces are in one direction. So forces add up, they don't cancel. But here, because forces are in opposite sides and magnitude of force, if they are equal, then they will stay, then the third charge will stay in equilibrium. So r as x as minus r, we will take it as absurd. This is not possible. So at what distance the third charge has to be placed so that it stays in equilibrium? Therefore, the third charge must be placed at 1/3 r distance from the first charge, from plus q charge. That means it should be placed at 2/3 distance from plus 4q charge. So this is where the third charge has to be placed so that the net force on it is 0. So there is an application of principle of superposition. In this question we have seen that plus q, 4q both are of same sign. The magnitudes were different. Let us take one more example where they are of opposite sign. So consider a point charge plus q and another charge minus 9q. I am taking 4q, 9q because they are all perfect squares. That means when we take plus or minus square root of 4 we get 2. Here we'll come across a step where root over of 9 will come. So it is easy for us to take. The point has to be understood. So such questions are taken. Similar kind of questions are there in the NCERT textbook. NCERT textbook example questions, example 1.4, 1.5 is a direct question. It doesn't involve much of the information related to Coulomb's law or principle of superposition. That is directly done, so I have not done that video at all. Example 1.4, example 1.6, 1.7, 1.8, those all as individual videos. I have done the videos of those, you can see them. And 1.6, 1.7, they are related to the applications of the principle of superposition. The questions where we have to calculate a net force, finding a force on a charge due to net force on a charge due to other charges, and net force on a charge which is placed in a symmetrical distribution of electric charges, those kind of questions. So here we have, let us consider one more example where the two charges are of opposite sign. Distance between these charges BR. Now what is the question? The question is, where shall we place the third charge? Where shall we place the third charge so that the third charge is in equilibrium? Just for example, just now we have done that, say I put the third charge may be plus q minus q, solution will be same. That means its location will be same. So if the third charge is placed between charges 1 and 2, then the first charge will exert force in this direction, right side, and the second charge also will exert force on third charge in the same direction. Why? Because first charge repels third charge, second charge attracts. So in this case forces are in same direction, so they will not cancel. See, I place the third charge towards one of the extreme end. Then the first charge will repel, but the second charge will attract, and this time the forces are in opposite directions. And most of the times where the third charge has to be placed, always keep in mind, keep the third charge very close to the charge whose magnitude is less. So here first charge is a plus q, whereas second charge is minus 9q. So magnitude wise, second charge has more magnitude. So the third charge can be placed close to the charge whose magnitude is less, means first charge. So we'll place the third charge here. Why? Because forces are in opposite directions. If their magnitudes are same, magnitude of force on third charge due to first and second, if it is same, since the forces are in opposite directions, they'll cancel each other. As a result, the third charge stays in equilibrium, and this is what we have to find. The question is, where shall we place the third charge so that the third charge stays in equilibrium? So third charge location is somewhere, say for example, to the left side of the line joining the two electric charges. So our first charge was plus q. Our next charge was minus 9q. And the question is, on the line joining these 2 point charges, where shall we place the third charge? So and we decided to place the third charge somewhere towards the left of first charge. So third charge is located somewhere here. Distance between these two electric charges is r. First and second electric charges is r. And the third charge is placed at a distance x from first charge. And since the third charge is in equilibrium, since the third charge is in equilibrium, force that the first charge exerts on third charge will be in this direction. Force on third charge due to first charge. And force on third charge due to second charge will be perfectly towards second charge. Why? Because second charge is attracting third charge. So force on third charge due to second charge. So here force on third charge due to first charge should be equal to force on third charge due to second charge. These two forces we will calculate by applying Coulomb's law. So in the left side we will write K, Q, capital Q by x square. Look into the diagram. Distance between first and third is x. Right side K 9q, not minus 9q. We are talking about magnitude. 9q q by distance between third and second charge. Distance between third and second charge is x plus r. We can write r plus x whole square. And then what all stuff cancels, we'll cancel them from either sides. And then we'll do a small cross multiplication. Where we land then? We land on r plus x whole square by x square, which we can write as r plus x by x over all square, right side 9. And I said why I'm selecting 9 or 4. Reason is the concept will be understood and easy calculation. So here r plus x by x can be written as plus or minus. Root over of 9 means 3. So here r plus x by x, we can take it as plus 3. Also we can take r plus x by x as minus 3. Work out this part. You will have r is equal to 3x minus x. R is equal to 2x. So what is x? We have to tell what is x. Why? Because x is the distance between third charge and first charge. Where we have to put the third charge so that the third charge stays in equilibrium. That means x we have to tell. X is what? R by 2. Okay, I'll explain what it is. Similarly, here we'll get r plus x is minus 3x, or r is minus 3x minus x means what? Minus 4x. Or what is x? X is minus r by 4. Right. So we have two values of x, which is correct. So when we take x as r by 2, x as r by 2 means r is a distance between first charge and second charge. So where the third charge has to be placed? Third charge has to be placed left side of first charge at half the distance between first and second charge. The meaning of x is equal to r by 2 is this. That means here on the diagram I am writing x is what? R by 2. So whatever is the distance between first and second charge, it's perfectly half the distance. That much distance towards the left of first charge. There, if the third charge is placed, the third charge will stay in equilibrium. Then what does the other answer indicate? X is equal to minus r by 4. X is equal to minus r by 4 means x is that x distance itself is towards the left of first charge. It is minus r by 4 means it goes between it goes between first charge and second charge. Minus r by 4 means it will go in the opposite direction. That means it will go between first and second charge. But we have learned that between first and second charge, if we place the third charge, then the third charge will not stay in equilibrium. To verify this also, you can put in the second step, in place of this x. In place of this x, we can put minus r by 4. And when we put minus r by 4, then we will realize that the third charge comes between 1 and 2, which is invalid. So what is answer? Answer is x is equal to r by 2. Let's give our conclusion. Therefore, the third charge must be placed left of first charge. Which is the first charge? The plus q charge, not minus 9q, at half the distance between plus q and minus 9q charges, and hence the applications of the principle of superposition. Thank you for watching this video.